Okay, we'll start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayati Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shudurum Dinatarinam Chaitanyameshwaram Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Yakshurum Militamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Shatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaurabhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Om Tassat. Thank you all for joining Bhagavatam study. So we'll continue reading first canto, 10th chapter. Lords return back to Dwaraka from Hastinapur. So text 23rd. Can somebody read?
Sloka.
Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text Srimad Bhagavatam 1.10.20. Sava ayamyat padamatra sudayo jitendriya nirjita matar shivanaha pasyanti bhakti Vutkali Tamalatmana Nanvesha Sattvam Parimastum Arhati. Translation and quoted by His Divine Grace Vedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Okay, Jai.
Translation. Here is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose transcendental form is experienced by the great devotees who are completely cleansed of material consciousness by dint of rigid devotional service and full control of life and the service and the senses. And that is the only way to purify existence. Purport. As it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord can be known in his real nature by dint of pure devotional service only. So it is stated here that only the great devotees of the Lord who are able to clear the mind of all material dust by rigid devotional service can experience the Lord as he is. Jitendriya means one who is full control over the senses. The senses are active parts of the body and their activities cannot be stopped. The artificial means of the yogic process to make the senses inactive has proved to be abject failure. Even in the case of great yogis like Vishwamitra Muni controlled the senses by yogic trends. But when he happened to meet Menaka, a heavenly society woman, uh, he became a victim of sex and the artificial way of controlling the senses failed. But in the case of a pure devotee, the senses are not at all artificially stopped from doing anything, but they are given different good engagements. When the senses are engaged in more attractive activities, there are no chance of they being attracted by any inferior engagements. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the senses can be controlled only by better engagements. So devotional service necessitates purifying the senses or engaging them in the activity of a devotional service. Devotional service is not inactive, in action. Anything done in the service of the Lord becomes at once purified of its material nature. The material conception is due to ignorance only. There is nothing beyond a Vasudeva. The Vasudeva conception gradually develops in the heart of the learned after a prolonged acceleration of the receptive organs. But the process ends in the knowledge of accepting Vasudeva as all in all. In the case of devotional service, this very same method is accepted from the very beginning, and by the grace of the Lord, all factual knowledge becomes revealed in the heart of a devotee due to dictation by the Lord from within. Therefore, controlling the senses by devotional service is the only and easiest means.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So further, these ladies are talking. Here the same Supreme Personality Godhead, whose transcendental form is experienced by the great devotees, who are completely cleansed of material consciousness by dint of devotional service, rigid devotional service, and full control of life and senses. And that is the only way to purify the existence. This is actually the very, very concluding words for practice devotees for us. So they are very, very clearly, very, expressively saying this devotional service is the only way to purify life and senses. And that's the only way to realize the Supreme Personality Godhead who is in front of them. So they could see, they could experience him, and they're saying that devotional service, that to pure dint of pure rigid devotional service. So proper translating uses rigid. Rigid means we should be very, very pakka. There's no exceptions. There is no laxity. It has to be very, very rigid. So rigid rule there is. Similarly, we should have rigid devotional service. So devotional service is not kind of something we feel pain. Devotional service is something very happy. That's why anything service to Lord gives us happiness. But at the same time, we should be serious. The challenge for us that we are not serious. We want so many things. We want material enjoyment. We want sense enjoyment. We want so many other things, money, wealth, and in the process, we want a little service. It's like a full meal. Devotional service is a small pickle in the side. No, it should be other way around. Devotional service is the main meal. Whatever material things are the side pickles or the side dishes. That should be the mood. That's why Prabhupada says Lord can be known by real, dint of pure devotional service only. Quoting from Bhagavad Gita, he says, there is nothing else can, we can know the Krishna. Says, 1855, he says that Bhaktyama Abhijanati Yavam Chasmi Tattvataha Tato Ma Tattvataha Jnatvam Vishate Tat Antaratma. So we can know Krishna only by devotional service, nothing else. So what is devotional service? Anything for the pleasure of the Lord without any interest for sense gratification, that's a devotional service. Purely for satisfaction of Krishna. Anyaha bilashita shunya, jnana karma dhyanavritam, anukulena anushilana bhaktiruttam. Without any abhilasha, no jnana karma in that, and it should be favorable and as desired by him. Anukulena anushilanam. If that is done, yes, that is what uttama bhakti. That's a pure devotional service. Otherwise, artificially, if you try to control our senses, not possible. Prabhupada gives example of Vishwamitra Muni. Vishwamitra Muni, thousands of years did meditation, but just by Menaka's ankle bell, everything gone, he ran behind her. And Prabhupada also gives example of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was born in a very, low family, Muslim family, but he was purely surrendered to Hare Krishna mantra, chanting the holy name. Even the Maya Devi or the lady who comes to him to entice him, but he is not bewildered. Each day he says that, you wait, let me finish my chanting. And like that, one day, second day, third day, she herself surrenders and she becomes his disciple. This is the kind of a purity of a pure devotion service. This is what Srila Prabhupada is quoting here. So Bhagavad Gita said the senses can be controlled only by the better engagement. Sense always wants engagement. Sense cannot be idle. That's why Prabhupada says engage it. You cannot control. Our mind and senses are so dangerous. They'll keep running here and there. You cannot control, but we can engage them. So engage means you should have activities. You cannot be idle. You cannot say that, oh, I'll sleep, I'll be at home. No. If you are idle or you are without any proper activity, you will be end up doing something else. That's why Prabhupada's morning 4:30 to evening 8:30, back to back, increase activity so that you are busy. Same way we can see here now also. So the every day we are reading Damodar month, one other programs, morning, evening, some programs, so that we are always engaged. We are always busy. Otherwise, idle mind is devil workshop. Mind will run away here and there and start doing so many things. So we have to always engage. The Acharya is saying that we should do such that we will not have even spare a minute for anything else than devotion service. That's the way our day has to be scheduled. I should plan such a way that every day I should have something. Otherwise, I'll end up doing something else. So that's why Prabhupada says devotion service is not inaction. Devotion service is not that eat and sleep or just chanting. No, chanting is, yes, one devotion service, but that's not the only one. We have to be actively serve Krishna. It's not just chanting alone. Chanting is the 99%, but to keep our chanting nicely, we have to always engage deity worship, book distribution, book reading, prasad distribution, and various preaching programs like Damodara month, Gita Marathon, so many things. Now the next month, Gita Marathon coming. Go out and distribute Bhagavad Gita. Go and distribute proper books and always engage in service. That's why Prabhupada is writing here, we should have very, very clear understanding. There is nothing beyond Vasudeva. Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. One who thinks that who is there is nothing beyond Vasudeva. He is Mahatma. We should try to become that Mahatma. So Krishna himself talks in the Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada finally says, factual knowledge becomes revealed in the heart of devotee due to dictation by the Lord himself. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. He says, we are chanting every day. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito means Divya Gyan is not coming from outside. It's coming from inside. Krishna, Chaitya Guru, a Paramatma reveals. So if somebody says, I don't know how to practice, just simply desire, simply chant the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Simply have a strong desire to serve him. Krishna arranges everything. He provides knowledge, he provides the support, he provides the people, and he provides right intelligence. Tesha Satadiptana Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam. He says, I'll give the intelligence. What you need is that Priti Purvaka service. That's what required. All of us practicing devotees, Prabhupada Anugas, followers of ISKCON, we have to have this strong desire. My only desire that I should serve Krishna and his devotees. Everything else Krishna will take care. I don't have to work separately. That's why, that love should come. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanina Brahma Samhita. Brahmaji says this. The always is to distribute this prema, Krishna prema. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave freely. Only qualification he asked is that just have a little desire, nothing else. Otherwise, such a treasure is given very freely. Without any distinction, no caste, no creed, no sex, no nationality. Everybody gets free. That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. And that we have to follow. We have to distribute. Srila Prabhupada did all over the world. Now, wherever we have opportunity, we should distribute. That's the only way we can pay back our debt to Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, no way we can do that. Once one of his Prabhupada's disciple asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you've done so much for us. How can we pay back your debt? Prabhupada said, you'll never be pay back your debt of Guru. What you can do that, you can give this message to another 10 people, spread this message. At least that you can do. So it's all of us, our duty is to spread this message as many possible devotees. Now, the Damodara month is a very, very wonderful opportunity. Keep program in your house, call your neighbors, friends, colleagues, relatives, get them connected. Somehow chant the Krishna's name, somehow offer ghee lamp to the Lord Damodara, somehow read some Bhagavad Gita, do and get some prasad. This is the way they'll be there. The many lives, unlimited number of sins can be burnt away so easily. That's a good opportunity for all of us to do that. So we should make use of it. We should not be lazy. So Prabhupada, Nectar of Devotion, he writes, if a person has got a preaching opportunity and if he doesn't preach, he is doing violence, he says. Real violence is that one who has got a preaching opportunity and is not doing. For example, we have a big apartment, we have a flat. We are not calling out our neighbors, friends, and not telling them about Krishna. We are actually doing violence. So that way we should be very, very careful. So Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes here, the Purusha avatars present at the beginning of the creation have been described, but Krishna is not that type. So even in the Bhagavatam first canto, I think third chapter, 28th verse, Yetecha kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He explains, I think Sudha Goswami explains the various incarnations and finally says that Krishna is not the ordinary expansion. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Here also, Vishnu Chakravarti writes that the Purusha avatars, the beginning of the creation, but Krishna is beyond. Krishna is the original. Ishwaraha Parama Krishnaha Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. He is the Karana. He is the cause of all causes. He is the original. He is perceivable now during the Apara Yuga in the 28th cycle of Vaivasvata Manvantara. That is true. But though his eternal pastimes and eternal form perceived by bhakti have appeared in the Apara Yuga, by his pastimes can always be perceived by those having devotion. That is expressed in this verse. We can understand Krishna only by bhakti. Otherwise, you cannot understand Krishna. Krishna is such a mystic personality. We cannot understand. Only the pure devotee. The more our devotion service increases, we are able to realize Krishna's pastimes. Otherwise, Krishna's pastime, we cannot realize it. Further, Chakravarti Thakur writes, those who control the life air, Nirjita Matharishwanaha, or those who have controlled the senses because of controlling life air by intelligence, Atmana, purified and enlivened by bhakti, see the lotus feet of form, Padam of the Lord. Matirishwanaha becomes Matirishwanaha by the poetic license. Because the senses are dependent on the life air, if one controls life air, one controls the senses. Shruti says, Drishyate tva agrayaya buddhaya. Lord is seen by the eager intelligence. Katha Upanishad 3.12. Next, they explain that he is the cause of the purity of their intelligence. Certainly, Nanu, he and not yoga or other processes can purify completely parimarstutam. And the intelligence, sattvam, implication is that being a sage or conquering the senses and the life air is accomplished by their bhakti alone, not by pranayama or other processes. Today we see so many people, so many yoga, so many practices they do. But what will be the result? We are not criticizing any of them. But the point is that Srila Prabhupada is giving. We can see here Prabhupada's mood. Of course, Srila Vishnu Chakra Thakur writes, and Prabhupada also explains that the mood is that they are showing the compassion. People don't know, so that let them understand. So that's why he's saying this. This is a present tense and indicate that his pastimes are visible at all times. Brahma says, Atha paradhayante, so buddhayanta gopaveshu me purusham purushartham abhi abhirbhavahu bavu. After a half of my lifetime, I perceived him. He appeared before me with the dress of a covered Gopala Tapani Upanishad. Also, Brahma Samhita, Krishna appeared at the beginning of the creation. Brahma and Brahma praised him. So, Vishnu Chakra Thakura, referring to Brahma Samhita, is explaining how Krishna. Now, he also mentioned that Brahma's half the time, yes, Brahma's 50 years is finished. So yesterday we were discussing, what is the life of Brahma. So the total lifespan of Brahma is 100 years. Brahma's time is in material world. It is 311 trillion, around 40 billion years. 311 trillion and 40 billion. That's the Brahma's lifetime. But after out of that, 50% is finished. So Brahma is now 50 years old. So that's why Srila Vishnu Chakrakura is saying this. But Brahma realized Krishna. Now it's our duty to understand, practice it. We'll read the one more sloka. Next one. Somebody can read, please.
Not allotted to anybody. Somebody can read the purport and translation.
Please volunteer quickly.
Tava ayam sati anukita saktato vedeshu kukeshu chagupya vadi ya ekaisho jagatatmalilaya rajiti avati atti na tatra sajjate. Anybody can read translation and purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'll start.
Please.
Yeah.
Translation. Oh dear friend, here is that very personality of Godhead whose attractive and confidential pastimes are described in the confidential parts of Vedic literature by his great devotees. It is he only who creates, maintains, and annihilates the material world and yet remains unaffected. Purport. As it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, all the Vedic literature are glorifying the greatness of Lord Sri Krishna. Here it is confirmed in the Bhagavatam also. The Vedas are expanded by the many branches and the sub branches by great devotees and empowered incarnations of the Lord like Vyasa, Narada, Sukadeva Goswami, the Kumaras, Kapila, Prahlada, Janaka, Bali, and Yamaraja. But in the Srimad Bhagavatam, especially the confidential parts of his activities are described by the confidential devotee Sukadev Goswami. In the Vedanta Sutra or Upanishads, there is only a hint of the confidential parts of his pastime. In such Vedic literature as the Upanishads, the Lord has expressively been distinguished from the mundane conception of his existence. His identity being fully spiritual, his form, name, quality, and the paraphernalia, etc., have been elaborately distinguished from matter, and therefore he is sometimes misunderstood by less intelligent persons as impersonal. But factually, he is the Supreme Person, Bhagavan, and he is partially represented as Paramatma or impersonal Brahman. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Further, the ladies are talking here. Oh, dear friends, here is that very personality of Godhead whose attractive and confidential pastimes are described in the confidential parts of Vedic literature by his great devotees. It is he only who creates, maintains, annihilates the material world and yet remains unaffected. So, he is a Supreme Personality Godhead. He is very, very attractive and his pastimes are attractive. There's that one example. We every year, Damodara month, we continuously whole month we talk about Damodar Leela or we talk about Makanchor. We continuously glorify him. Makanchor, Makanchor. Yes, thief, we're calling him and glorifying him. And it's become so famous. Just one lila. I'm like, of course, unlimited number of lila. But it says confidential because only the devotees can understand. Otherwise, others cannot. But it's not confidential. It's available. Krishna's pastimes available. Everything is available. Krishna book is available. Bhagavatam is available. Bhagavad Gita is available. But why is confidential? Because those who not become devotees cannot understand. That's why confidential. Only when take up a devotional. Prabhupada writes, if anybody wants to understand Bhagavad Gita, at least we should develop mood of Arjuna. Arjuna, even the first chapter, he puts so many questions. Krishna, why should I fight? I'll get sin. The Varna Shankara will happen. What will happen to my guru? And what is the use of the kingdom after killing everybody? How do I enjoy? He gives so many reasons. But when finally he says, Karpanya dosha pahata swabhava, he says, hey Krishna, because of the imperfect knowledge, because I don't know what is my dharma. So please guide me, instruct me. Shishyasteham shadima. Please instruct me. Please make me a disciple. That's the time Krishna says, yes, you are talking like a fool. Actually, you are talking like a pandita, but you are fool number one. Because you're talking about the body. Actually, you are not this body, you are a spirit soul. He gives a full knowledge after that. So point is that Vedic literature will be revealed only when we surrender. Like Arjuna surrendered, like all of us has to surrender, simply accept Krishna's words. Then knowledge will be revealed. It is he only who creates, maintains, annihilates. Of course, even as Purusha avatars, Vishnu maintains, Lord Shiva annihilates, Brahma creates. These are the Purusha avatars of Lord Krishna. They have given different duties, but the origin is Krishna. Prabhupada quotes here, Bhagavad Gita, Vedic literature glorifying the greatness of Lord Krishna. So that's the reason Vyasadeva, after writing so many Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, he was not happy. And finally, he went to his guru Narada Muni. Narada Muni literally told him, you have wasted your time. You are not done the real what you are supposed to do. You are not glorify the Supreme Lord. You write Bhagavatam. That's why he writes Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is full of glorification of Krishna, real understanding of Krishna. Prabhupada says Srimad Bhagavatam, especially the confident parts of his activities are described by the confident devotee Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami, Parishit Maharaj keep on asking after one after questions. Sukadeva Goswami reveals the real treasure of the confidential knowledge, confidential pastimes of Krishna, to the extent that finally the Rasa Leela, to the extent, even he starts with the creation. And in the third chapter, Kapila Dev talks about so many the pastimes of how the different living entity creates. Like that, step by step, then Dhruva pastime, Prahlad pastime, Chitraketu pastimes, and all this explains. Finally, the 10th canto talks about the Rasa Leela and other pastimes, gopis and so the point here is that only when we understand Krishna by the pure devotion service, we are able to understand. Otherwise, we will not be able to. That's why Prabhupada says here, he is sometimes misunderstood by less intelligent person as impersonal. Krishna is not impersonal. Krishna is beyond any limits. Yes, he can become impersonal. He can become person. You cannot bind him like saying that, he should be like, he can be smallest of small. He can be biggest of big. There is no way anybody can put a control because he's supreme personality Godhead. As soon as somebody says, no, I'll make him like this, then he is under his control. Yes, Krishna is under control of his pure devotees. Like we see here, Yashoda Mata, able to control him, bind him out of a pure love. So for practice devotees also, the pure love is the only one we can bind him. Like Shabari can feed Rama whatever juta she because of a pure love. That's what Krishna, of course, we are not saying that we should feed Krishna the juta. The point is that pure love without any expectation. That's what binds Krishna. Krishna is Baba Grahi Janardana. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, the secret pastimes are known as confidential person, known by the confidential person. So, yes, we should develop the mood of Arjuna. mood of the pure devotees, and we should try to become that pure devotee by our devotion service, by chanting the holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and reading Bhagavatam and preaching Bhagavatam, spreading Bhagavatam, and requesting more and more people to read Bhagavatam and chant the holy name. That's the preaching is the what it can bring more purity in our life. With this, I'll stop here. Devotees can share your comments, feedback, thoughts. Please go ahead. Maybe alphabetic order. Okay. Varsha Mataji, you can start today. That's it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So today's takeaway for me was like I should surrender to Krishna completely and I should act, I mean, I should be egoless, act like fool. I mean, I'm even though there are so many materials available around, if I am not a pure devotee, I will not be able to get through those material also. So I won't get that mind also. And one more thing you said was like every activity I plan, I should have that in mind that I am doing it for Krishna service. But Prabhuji, sometimes we don't get that mind also, we'll be in so anger, so much ego and all. Yeah, even though we understand it is wrong, but we cannot help. But that is what it is, Prabhuji. So if we hear something for 2, 3 hours, maybe it will be in our brain again. We'll back to square one. So that is what I understood. So that is why continuously I have to be in this survey. I mean, I'll devote this
Bhagavata
association.
Sevaya.
Yeah.
Nityam means Prabhupada says not daily. Always he says.
Yeah.
So that's how it is. Yeah. Plus the devotee association. Yeah. I mean, we are in this material world. We tend to, make mistakes, but we should come back as soon as possible. Understand that
Yes,
can help each other. Yeah.
yes, Prabhuji. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Shankar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
So, and Mataji has told that we should be in Krishna consciousness. And I think it's that other thing we need to think of repaying the spiritual master Prabhupada also. So we can't actually what he told is correct. We can't match anything. We can't repay him anything. Not even a penny we can't repay. So at least we can try to read the Bhagavatam and also spread this knowledge by distributing the books.
True. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Sumit Prabhu, anything you want to add? Please. Sumit Prabhu, are you there? If not, Shruti Mataji, go ahead.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Go
Hare
ahead.
Krishna, Prabhu. I was speaking on mute, sorry. So, the first shloka, main thing is that Lord can be understood only by the devotee through the pure devotion. So, pure devotion is like Prabhupada translated bhakti as devotional service, not as just devotion, because that one can interpret as like inactions, but just in the heart, devotion is there. But Prabhupada very beautifully translated bhakti as the devotional service, that we have to perform activities that are dedicated to the service of the Lord. That is devotional service. And through that, our mind and senses are purified. And by that, the devotee can experience the Lord in his true divine nature. Also, Prabhupada emphasizes on controlling the senses for spiritual progress by engaging them, not just trying to control them by artificial means, such as in the yogis try to do, just stop the senses. And we have seen in the Shastra examples of Vishwamitra Muni, who was trying to control his senses, but little temptation and he had a fall down. So that illustrates that this is just the suppression of the senses is ineffective. So in contrast to that, we see the pure devotees, they do not try to suppress their senses, but try to engage their senses in the service of Krishna. And by that, they can move towards their goal of going back to Godhead. So we have to give our senses the higher test. from lower test to the higher test, and by that they can get purified. And for the second shloka, Prabhupada is telling like how all the Vedic literatures are glorifying the greatness of the Lord and confirming his supreme position in the universe. So especially Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam in particular highlights the divine nature and the pastimes of the Lord. So the whole Vedic scriptures, even the Upanishads and Vedanta Sutra, they actually give very confidential information. But only some hints are there in its deeper activities. So these scriptures are like the devotees have like Vyas, Narad, and other, which contribute to spread the Vedic wisdom. So as you said, like we will never be able to repay the our spiritual master. The only way we can repay is by doing a sadhana well, and also distribute books of Srila Prabhupada, so that this knowledge which we have got, that can be like propagated more further, and that preaching mission can move forward. Yeah, Prabhu. Yes.
Yeah. Shri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sloka 23 says that the transcendental form of the Lord can be experienced by the devotees only. The senses of the devotees are controlled by devotional service. But artificially, we cannot control our senses because senses are very strong, and Mayadevi is the controller of senses for non-devotee. So, engage our senses by devotees. That way, we can be purified also by engaging senses. That we be purified. So there is nothing beyond Vasudeva. And 24 Lord's pastimes are described by confidential devotees like Sukdev Goswami. Why his activities are confidential? Because his form, name, poly and paraphernalia, etc. are all spiritual.
Yes, Mataji. Okay, Shruti Mataji, anything to add?
Nothing, Prabhu. Everyone is explained. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Rosa Mataji, say anything.
Nothing, Prabhu.
That's my point.
Okay. Mariappan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Almost all the points are covered. Devotional services is the only way to have full control of life and senses. Devotional services are completely performed for the only the satisfaction of Lord, without any personal agendas, and engage the senses for devotional services or related activities. Chanting is most important. However, other devotional services like book distribution, sharing Krishna conscious to non-devotees are also equally important. And simply develop a desire to serve Lord. Lord takes care of knowledge and all other requisite support. One can never reciprocate gratitude to spiritual master. Only by serving devotees and spreading Krishna conscious is the appropriate expression of gratitude. Only pure devotees can understand Krishna. Lord is Lord distinguishes soul and physical body. All Vedic literatures are glorifying Lord Krishna. And that much I have understood, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Archana Mataji, anything on that? Okay. Asha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Devotional service is the only way to purify ourselves and try to get out of our materialistic life. Devotional service actually gives us happiness. Without any desire, we should carry out our bhakti. Senses cannot be controlled, but I should engage my senses in this devotional service of the Lord. And the spread of knowledge. I simply need to surrender to him, the great personality of Godhead. Krishna is bound by devotees' love. He is Bhavagrahi Janardana. I should develop the mood of Arjuna and other great devotees. As devotional service includes just not chanting, reading, hearing and preaching, and also distributing the knowledge which is given to us by Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. That's my takeaway.
Good, good. Maybe we can send messages in our groups, different groups. So those who are not attending Bhagavatam, please request. Those who are attending earlier, now they're missing. Maybe call them, what happened, so that inspire them to please attend. My humble request, possible. Please,
We will do that, Prabhuji.
different groups, please. Hare Krishna. With this, I'll stop here. Vancha kalpatarudesya kripa sindhubhyevacha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. See you